So this is the we've got some mega agent rainmakers here with us. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? We'll start with Kim.
Hi, everyone. I am Kim Rock from the Kim Rock Group. We are located outside of Philadelphia. Still have my World Series nails going on here, but go Eagles. I have been licensed for 14 years. I've had my team for 7 years, and I have 6 amazing agents on the team, 3 admin. And last year we did just shy of 200 units.
Wow, very nice.
Amazing.
Very nice. George.
So my name is George Kelly. On December 1st of this year, I will have been in real estate and with KW the whole time for 10 years now. The Greater PA Region RTT, and I run a sales team with 18 agents, 3 admin out of our Cherry Hill, New Jersey office. So Kim's like just on the other side of PA, right? I'm just on the other side of Philly in New Jersey.
And there's a friendly rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, come on, it's New Jersey.
We're licensed in Pennsylvania and New Jersey, but we don't quite go to George's area, so that's okay.
I got you. Okay, just stay in your own territory. It's like the Sharks and the Jets. Preston, what's up?
Hey guys, Preston Murphy here. I'm the rainmaker of the Harmon Murphy Group. I always say powered by Keller Williams. I guess I'm used to that here in Pensacola, Florida. And I'm also the team leader of Keller Williams Realty Gulf Coast with 280 amazing agents.
Wow, awesome. So the production of this fine group here is just over 200 million combined. So we wanted to have some mega teams on here to show you that you may have heard command doesn't work for teams, but you heard wrong, people. You heard wrong. And we're here to bust through those myths. Let's start with George, because George, you're regional tech trainer. So, but you're also a team owner. And I would assume that you wouldn't be regional tech trainer if you didn't have passion for command. So let's talk about your business a little bit. So 140 plus homes, give or take a year. 90% of your business comes from SOI. This year, you're on track to do around 50 million. You use contacts heavily, opportunities, smart plan designs, command mobile. So you use it all. But talk a little bit about why. So you're RTT, but why are you so immersed in command otherwise? What about it is so great for you and your team?
So you want me to? I'll start right from the jump, which is like, I'm like everybody else. I'm trying to do this for profit, right? This is how I make money for my family, and spending $1,500, $700, hell, even $200 a month on a basic CRM system or even CRM plus, it just never made sense to me. So I was always running my business out of spreadsheets, and we were extremely efficient with running our business out of spreadsheets. But as we all know on here, spreadsheets have their limitations. So when I first saw what command could be, I realized that, all right, this isn't everything we need at the moment, but it's building blocks, right? So literally we jumped in with the opportunities module first. So we thought, heck, I don't care if anything else in this software works. As long as opportunities works and we can simplify our deal flow process and track things easier, let's make it happen there. So obviously having opportunities first then leads to your contacts module being good. Your contacts module being good leads to everything else in the entire system being good. So as things have improved, we've added layers and layers. And of course, with Command Mobile, it allowed us to add a lot more of the team member engagement, right? And not just so much on the operations side, but that's where we started. And then, like I tell people, I'm not the RTT that you come to if you want to learn how to click buttons. I don't know what every little last thing in here knows how to do, but I'm the guy that you go to if you want to learn how to sell a lot of real estate using this software.
So you said that you guys dove into opportunities first, which is interesting because most people dive into contacts first. Why was it opportunities that you decided to conquer before anything else?
because I needed to have an efficient way to look at my money, my pipeline, right? The checklist. To me, my life is easier when the operations of the team goes easier. I hate to say it out there for you salespeople, but salespeople can be replaced. Operations people are gold, right? And I want to make sure that the operations people who I've worked with for years, especially Cabrina Johnson, who's been my right hand, right? I want to make sure her life is awesome. So that was the first thing that I was looking at in terms of how do I get her out of this nightmare of 10 different spreadsheets and into one login, one spot where everything's happening all in one place.
I love
Hey,
that.
I just want to sidebar for 1 second, because people in the chat are asking me to speak up about this, and I'm going to stop posting your Instagram handles, stop posting your email addresses, stop asking for referrals in the chat. You're taking away from the people who are here trying to teach you, and you're taking away from people who are trying to learn from them. It is extremely distracting and unprofessional. Please don't do it. Go to a Facebook group for referrals to do that. Thank you so much. George, you were saying, sir.
So let me provide some value in the chat. So if you guys stop from I see the constant scrolls of thank yous happening right now, right? So I'm going to drop some value into the chat here, and everybody who's on here, I want to make sure that each of you get the opportunity to literally copy my entire opportunity setup. Right?
Amazing.
Use it as a base template. So what I just sent you guys is my entire phases, stages, and checklists for both the buyer side and listing side in a Google Drive. It's in the chat right now. So if you want to take that and tweak it, right? Like Kim and I, we might be close in geographic location, but there's certain things in PA that happen differently than New Jersey, certain things in your state that will happen and different than mine, but a base template that you can take and say, all right, I'm going to use this and tweak it. That's the most important thing that we can start with.
I love that. And people are saying that the Google Doc just crashed. So give it some time. Give it some time.
Yes.
We're breaking a lot of things today. Real quick, George, your business is 90% Sphere. What are you doing inside of Command to keep in touch with people that you know?
In all honesty, it's one smart plan. It's the same smart plan that I recommend all the time. Shocker, it's the quarterly call plan. You have to actually pick up the phone and talk to other human beings. So I learned a script from, I don't remember whether it was Gary or whether it was Jason Abrams years ago. And I've been continually using this script, which is, how are you? How's your family? How's work? Right? Because when I ask you, how are you? I'm learning about those things that are going to happen in your life that are going to make you transact real estate. When I ask you, how's your family? I'm learning about the people in your life that's going to have life events that are going to make them transact real estate. And my favorite question, when I ask you, how's work? You're only going to respond with one or two things. It's great or it stinks. And when they respond with it stinks, I love it. Because that's when I say, when are you going to stop doing something you hate and join me doing something you might potentially love? When can we have some time together to talk about a potential career in real estate?
So George, everybody's posting, can you describe Ford? Can you describe Ford? Because this is how people are, associating your this conversation. So family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Is that right, George?
Yeah. So I actually did an interview with David Voorhees where he's like, you're using the Ford system, but because you're from New Jersey, you don't care about their recreation or dreams. So you just want to go family, occupation, off the phone. I was like, all right, yeah, I'll take that.
So funny.
And by the way, great to see you, George.
Yeah, nice to see you also.
I want to go over to Kim. Kim, tell everyone kind of about your business. 200 units. What's the volume? 60 something million?
Yeah,
Okay.
last year, 67 million. Yep.
67 million. So you are big on using neighborhood nurtures, happy birthday, home anniversary. So explain the process around that.
Yeah, so this is like a perfect segue because whereas George started getting into the operations side and the opportunities, we started the exact opposite. It's only recently that we've really gotten into the opportunities with George's help, because we've actually had some calls with him and he's helped us get into the opportunities. But we started really focusing on the smart plans. And so, like you said, neighborhood nurture, that is huge. If, you know, when you come to these events and stuff, you're going to be hit with so much information. And I always say, like, if you can just pick 1 or 2 things that you're going to implement and do them. And so neighborhood nurture to me would be one that like everyone should write down right now, because that one's huge. And it's not just for sellers. It's not just for buyers. It's really for every human being, because everyone wants to know like what's happening in my neighborhood. I might have lived there for 10 years, but I want to know when my neighbor's house, you know, sold. I want to know what they sold it for. So when we talk to clients about it, we actually call it a neighborhood watch, just because I feel like nurture is more for us as the salespeople, but I like to call it a neighborhood watch because I want to say, hey, I'm going to set you up on this fun thing called a neighborhood watch. And it's not spammy. It's going to be once a month. You're going to get a little cute graphic email, and it's just going to show you what's happening in real estate in your specific neighborhood. And you can set this up to be like their subdivision, or you can go beyond that if you want to go to neighboring neighborhoods. But we tend to keep to that person's immediate neighborhood because that's what they care about the most. So neighborhood nurture, that's huge. Smart plans for birthdays, smart plans for anniversary dates. We also love landing pages and smart plans tied to Facebook ads and landing pages. So, you know, we will do like a Facebook ad for a new listing. And then the amazing thing about that is it's all automated. And I'm such like an automation nerd. I have an Alexa in every room, you know, and lights controlled. And so the smart plans are amazing because we can post a smart plan for a new listing. I can be like out to dinner with my family, and without having done anything, I'll get an alert in the command app that says, yes, I am interested. Can I see this house tomorrow at 2:00? And I didn't even have a conversation with this person, but the Facebook ad triggered a smart plan. So it literally, like, they inquire through the Facebook ad, it comes to your landing page, it gets put into your database, it gets triggered that it was a Facebook ad from 123 Main Street. And then our trigger starts a smart plan that sends a text saying, hey, you inquired about this house. When did you want to see it? It's like, I didn't even do anything. So
I know, it's so
yeah.
So great.
I love that. Preston, so what your team will do about 250 sales. You're also a team leader of a market center, so you kind of have to you know, set the precedence or set the example.
Sure.
So, but that's not really the reason that you're using Command, because there's plenty of team leaders that aren't using Command and have sales teams. But you jumped in right from the very beginning when Command was essentially popsicle sticks, like Stacy Sauls was doing.
Yes.
So what made you decide to start from the very beginning, and why are you still using it now?
Yeah, so I would say there's 2 really big reasons right off the bat. One is, right, of the team leader of the market center, it's speed of the leader, speed of the pack. So I recognized right off the bat that if I was going to influence and cast a vision for so many of the agents in our market center to move their businesses to Command, that I had to obviously be the first person to be willing to do that. And yeah, I mean, let's just call it what it is. It was clunky. All right. There was a lot of parts that just were not working. We all recognize or remember the spinning wheel of death, if you will. And yet what I also knew is that I was spending over $1,000 a month on a technology platform out there that still exists today to operate my team. And by moving my team to Command for $25 per user, at least at this time, I recognized that I was getting a raise regardless, just by lowering my expenses. And we all know from Mark and Jay and Jason and Gary and all of those, we're always told to, you know, lead with revenue and not expenses. And when we can find ways to lower those expenses, why would we not do that when they have taken the time and invested millions, if not over $1 billion at this point, to create a platform for all of us to use? So those were the initial reasons.
Preston, when you're talking to agents, when you're talking to agents about their technology, what type of thing are you, like, questions you're walking them through to see what they're currently using, and then how Command can take over that function?
Oh, I love that question. So, one interesting thing about being a team leader is that I don't ever look at it as recruiting people to Keller Williams. I think of it as attracting people to Keller Williams. And so part of the process that we go through with that is a 26 question needs analysis. So I'm not interested in agents out there in the world just changing the sign in the front yard. I'm only interested in attracting them to Keller Williams if we can truly help them fulfill the vision that they have for their business. So a lot of that's going to start with questions around lead generation, following up, transacting the business. Where are they getting their leads from? What's the cost of that lead? How are they actually transacting the business? What does the checklist look like? Is there any type of smart plan? Do they have any kind of nurture system, follow-up system? So there's 26 questions around that conversation. And then once that's done, I then invite them back to the office where I sort of lay out an entire plan that can take them from where they are today to what their vision might look like in the future.
Love it.
I love that. I love that, Preston. And a lot of some of our agents in the audience right now are asking, can you share those 26 questions with them at some point? Just because
I don't think
sounds like there's there's no secrets here. And
Well,
here's the thing too, is
Share some of them because we only have 7 minutes. So
share some of them if you can. But what's really cool about what you just said, Preston, is really what it is sitting down and looking at your business from a bird's eye view and really looking at the strengths, weaknesses, threats, opportunities, right? And so what happens in those conversations and in those questions, you all are going to just see that you may have gaps in marketing. You may have gaps in communicating to your database. You might have a need for more systems and models, and there's all the solutions are right in front of you, are in command. So I think it would be really beneficial for a lot of our people to get those questions. Yeah.
This is not that we never want to, or at least I don't, right? I can't speak for everybody. I'm not interested in sort of throwing up Keller Williams, nor am I interested in throwing up command all over somebody
Right.
on certain features that might not be important to them in their business, right? I want to identify through those questions what their strengths are. What are the things that they're an absolute rock star at? What are their superpowers as a real estate professional? And then more specifically, identify what obstacles and challenges that they might currently have in their business, and maybe help them sort of recognize and self-discover that their brokerage and or their broker doesn't have a solution for that. And if we can offer that solution for $25 per month for that particular agent, why would we not do that? Now, this is obviously a Rainmaker panel. And so for me specifically, those are kind of the same questions that I had to ask myself. We had extraordinary expenses around the other tech platforms that were out there. And in a lot of ways, we had a lot of fragmentation. There was no real insight around our database. And now today, we use virtually every applet, not every one of them at a high level, but we certainly touch every single one of them. And I would say that we use contacts, opportunities, the sales pipeline, task, smart plans, all of those things at a very high level to do well over 200 transactions a year.
Amazing.
I love that. Hey, I want to know from each of you, because, Command is an overwhelming platform. I mean, it truly is end to end, right? So I think in the past, we were trying to get agents. Well, I was a team leader, and when I was a team leader and when I was RTT of Michigan, we were told to get agents to use Command at 100% capacity. And it's very difficult to do that without regurgitating KW and Command and trying to feel like you're shoving it down their throats. And when you log into Command, there's a lot to potentially start with. So where should someone start if they're just completely overwhelmed? They log in, oh my goodness, nope, too much for me. What is the simplest thing to do to get started?
I got a good one for you. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the app, on the main page of the app, when you log in, it lists
Command app.
Yes, the Command app. It lists all of your next 30 days worth of birthdays and anniversaries. So if you aren't ready for smart plans and you're not ready to do any of the automation and things that we're talking about, every day, click the app, look at whose birthday it is, look at whose home anniversary it is, and just pick up the phone, back to basics, and say, hey, did you know 5 years ago today you bought your house? Well, I was thinking about you today.
Love it.
So in order to do that, they have to add the home anniversaries
Yep.
into the contact
But yeah, so
profiles.
start with putting people in your database and getting the anniversary dates, and go back into your files, take some time, put the anniversary dates. You asked before about how to get the birthdays. A fun thing that I like to do to get the birthdays, if I don't want to ask the people, is at settlement, take a picture of their license. The title company asks for their license. I take a picture of it for my records. There, now I have their birthday.
Got it. That's awesome.
So great.
Great advice.
Who's
George.
next?
So I'm, just to piggyback on what Kim said, if you're asking where's the first place, it's contacts, right? Like, I know that I said I jumped in with opportunities, but opportunities don't work without contacts, right?
Right.
So just putting them in the system is the first step. Now, there's an app out there. It's called Cove Export, right? It is free. I don't make any money from this. It's just something I recommend to people as an RTT, that this app, you can download it for iPhone, you can download it for Android. It only has one function, which is, do you want to take all the contacts from your iPhone and export them right this second as a CSV file and send it to yourself in an email? That's it. That's the entire usage of the app. So simply just say, I'm going to take that app, Cove Export, just export out your entire iPhone database and clean it up. Then use the mass import tool and put it all in the system. By clean it up, I mean, when most people go into their phone, they might have someone down as Uncle Steve, or, maybe they have me in as G Money, right? Like, whatever type of cool nickname you want to give me in your phone, that's all right. But take them, put the real last name in, the real first name, phone numbers there, email addresses there. Now just use that clean data and start from there.
And have you been looking at my contacts, George? Because that is totally, I can't believe you just called me out having you in my database like that. So uncool. No. Preston, what about you?
Well, so speaking of G Money, yes. So contacts is right. It sounds like a broken record at this point, but as almost every single person on the panel today in each section has mentioned, you have to start with contacts. But beyond that, one of the things that I do with my team. So I meet biweekly with my agents to have one-on-ones with them. And we actually use the opportunities applet at a very high level. And right, there might be a lot of agents on this call today that think to themselves, man, Preston, I'm really not good at following up. Okay, so we all get it, right? We don't love follow-up, or most of us don't love follow-up. But when you lead generate, you'll find a sale. When you follow up, you'll find a business. So we've all heard that. So inside of the opportunities app, we actually just gamify that conversation because, right, there's a lot of agents, particularly on my team. Everybody on my team tends to love money. Okay, they're driven by money. Good for them. So we're really honestly just looking at our opportunities pipeline, and then that gives them great and deeper insight around who should they follow up with today, right? They're either under cultivate. We think about moving them from the left all the way to the right. So if you dread following up, at least look at your opportunities pipeline to recognize, what are the conversations that I must have today with every single person that's in that cultivate phase? And how can I move the needle just one more space, if you will? How can I get them to the next phase, and then to the next phase, and then to the next phase? And through that process, they recognize, right, because Command does this for you, it'll calculate your potential income and then your probable income, right? And why is there a difference? Because there's conversion rates, right? We understand and recognize that not every single person that you put in the cultivate phase is going to make it to the closing table. And yet at the same time, if you can kind of gamify that process, you do understand that, man, if there's a new way for me to think about this, let me just go to my opportunities pipeline and what are the conversations that I need to have today? How can I follow up today to move those people along the pipeline? And by the way, you'll see the money fluctuate. It goes up, tends to go up. Okay. So that's how we do it.
I love it.
Funny how that
That's
works.
the best. Seeing the money go up is such a motivating factor. So many agents don't, use opportunities at the very beginning. They don't use it for cultivate. They use it for active or when they take a listing. But see, cultivate is your future business. Active is your current business. No business thrives on current business. You have to see projections, and those projections are going to get you off your butt so you have bigger projections.
It's your cash flow.
Well,
You are running
it is.
It is your cash flow.
It is. And you know what, also, if we are going to keep it real in this call, it's a great opportunity to just get into a deeper relationship with the people who may end up hiring you. You know, it's like people want to trust you, like you, and really the trust factor needs to be there. So cultivate is really, really important in your business so that you do get repeat clients, so that you do get referrals and testimonials. But use that cultivate section so that you can build bigger relationships and repeat clients. Absolutely.
And I know that this isn't a demo call, but at the same time, I just want to quickly touch on, a call, however a lead flows into the Harmon Murphy Group's business, that generally goes to my ISA. My ISA fields that call. We go through LP Mama, right? All of the sort of pre-qualifying questions. He initially makes sure that person is entered into command if it didn't automatically sync to command. He then creates an opportunity, and then he assigns that opportunity immediately to the agent on my team who's going to be handling that transaction. And then he immediately creates a task for that individual to follow up with that person, a phone call task. That then flows to their Command mobile app, and then obviously notes are added throughout the day. So this is a very, for all of the people out there who say, man, there's no way I'm going to use Command for Teams because it's so clunky. I assure you, it's not clunky. You have not been using it at a high level, or you haven't gone back into to see the process for the past 2 years. Okay. It absolutely 100% works.
And also, do you think George Kelly just got the name G Money just out of nowhere? No, he earned it by using Cultivate. He earned it by using the Cultivate phase and building up his future business. That's where G Money, it's not something you're born with. I just wanted to let everyone know.
I do want to say one quick thing, Nick, for all of the teams out there, Rainmakers who might be struggling with Team Command, there is one setting that you can change that will probably eliminate 95% of your issues. If you go to your profile and you click settings, you're going to see the default profile. The best thing that you can do is make sure that every single person on your team has checked that the team is their default profile, such that when they log into Command, they're logging into the team's profile. All contacts can go there. They will still be the owner of those if they're entering them, and all of the opportunities, everything will be right there inside of the team profile. The biggest challenge that I often see with Rainmakers who are using Command and finding it, it doesn't work for me, is because their agents aren't logging into the team's account. They're inputting contacts into their personal account. They're trying to create opportunities in their personal account, and they're wondering why they can't see all of those things. And then they say, Command doesn't work for Teams. That is incorrect. Change one setting for your default account to be the Teams account. It will fix virtually 95% of your problems.
And we have three Rainmakers right here that are proof that it does work for Teams. Anyway, you guys were awesome. Thank you so much for being part of the panel.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
We gotta get to our next speaker.